A 1970 SaaB Model 96. We're making an all-wheel drive SaaB. It used to, back in 70, only have front-wheel drive, and this one is going to be all-wheel drive. It'll be heavily modified with two 100 kilowatt electric motors and two transmissions. The front transmission's out of a Porsche 944. It was a mid-engine transmission, and the back transmission will be an 091 that they put in the Volkswagen buses, and that it's supposed to be a real strong transmission, can handle the torque that the electric motors put out, because they put out a tremendous amount of torque right from 0 RPMs. The theme that I'm going for is back in the 60s and even into the early 70s. SaaB was really famous for its rally cars. They're built over in Sweden in the cold weather, extremely hazardous road conditions and all that, so they build them really tough, really light, and as a result they did really well in rally racing and stuff like that. And so that's what made me decide to be to make it a rally car. But the difference is it's going to be electric instead of having a gas engine. So it's an all electric. Each motor will be electric. Well, I don't care if it takes 2 years. I'm not real anxious to get it done. Just kind of depends on the flow of money, as always, and time. And I'm working on it on my days off. I work out at Kennecott. That's the copper mine. I got about 3 or 4 days a week off, and I work 3 or 4 days, or 4 days. 4 days on, 4 days off. But I wanted to build an electric dune buggy. Well, I guess it even goes back before that. I went for a ride in a Tesla, and I was just totally shocked and surprised that an electric car could have that much performance. And I just started looking into electric cars. And then I thought, well, I'd really like to build an electric sandrail, but I can't justify, because they're very expensive to build. I can't justify that kind of money for a weekend toy, just to take once in a while to the sand dunes. So I decided if I'm going to spend the money, I'd build an electric car so I could drive it, to work and have fun on it, get more use out of it. And so then I was trying to come up with a choice. What kind of donor car am I going to use? And my daughter Jenna and I, a few years ago, she got a 1967 SaaB Model 96. That was her first car, and she wanted me to help her restore that car and do it all up nice for her. And so we started working on that car and restored it, and she drove it, and I still drive it, and she still comes down and drives it. And then a friend of mine, they used to kind of think the car's cute and different looking, and they are. They're a different looking car, and my buddy in jest sent me a link to KSL Classifieds that, hey, one of those ugly cars is for sale, and it's just like yours. And it kind of surprised me because they're very, very rare cars. There's not a lot of them out there. So I thought, well, I'll buy it for a parts donor car because it was in really bad shape. It's rusted out really bad. So when I was thinking for an electric car, a donor car, why not do this SaaB and make it a rally car and make it all-wheel drive? And it kind of grew from there, and it just kept getting wilder and wilder and crazier and crazier and more excited I got. The more I thought about it, the more excited I got about it. Anyway, and so here we go. I've had to cut the whole front end off and completely make a whole new front end because the old one that was on it was just so rusted out that it wouldn't have. I was surprised I got it here because it was a rust bucket. So I'm having to rebuild the entire front suspension. I got the idea from Project Binky, two guys building a little mini, all-wheel drive, little mini. And the major fabrication that they're doing on that car kind of inspired me that, hey, I can do it. And so I started hacking away, built a reverse jig for it so I could keep all of my same measurements, you know, of the suspension and that. And I got the front clip out there. As soon as I get this a little bit closer to being done, then I'll weld it all on. And then it'll all have a tubular chassis. It's basically going to be a dune buggy with a car body shell. And the batteries I'm going to try to put into the floor to keep the center of gravity down low in the car. And I'm going to keep the 4 seats so it can haul 4 adults in it. And try to have air conditioning and heat. You know, I'm trying to keep all of that. So that's where we're at now. I've made a friend up in Salt Lake at an electric car company. Kelly is his name, and he's agreed to help me. He has some, you know, good knowledge also. So I'm just going to rely on YouTube and some friends, and what I don't know I can get from that, and what I do know I'm going to apply. I'm a good fabricator, welder, builder, like that. I can figure those things out, but electronics is a little bit overwhelming when I start thinking about it, but we'll get her figured out.